Obviously, Japan is facing the pressure from the U.S. side, which is pursuing a bilateral free trade agreement with Japan. But Japan says, no, I don't want to talk to you bilaterally because you are going to take advantage of my relatively weak position. And obviously, Japan, China, and South Korea, they both face this so-called like unilateral tariffs imposed by Washington on the free countries, either reality or poised to impose more tariffs on either China or Japan. So there is a sort of like a push for the three countries to join together against that kind of practice. But largely, I would say, we do see there's a rise of protectionism, anti-globalization trend, and also populism in most Western countries, and in particular the United States. I think Japan, China, South Korea, they do agree on that point. That is, like we should continue to push forward free trade and globalization.
And fundamentally, do you think it makes economic sense for the three major economies in
It does. It does. If you look at Japan and China, the two second largest economy and the third largest economy, and they are quite complementary. They say Japan is actually on upstream in terms of technology, a lot of sectors. China is closely behind Japan in that area, I would say. So Japan is looking at this expanding, growing domestic market in China to sell their export their product to China. Obviously, this is very important to them. And for China, there's a need to cooperate more closely with Japan in terms of high-tech sector. And if you look at the One Belt and Road Initiative, the Japanese business community is urging the government to do more to achieve closer cooperation with the Chinese side so they can benefit more from those investments.
And you think the Japanese have come around to realize this is the trend?
Gradually. At the very beginning, they were kind of like cool, I would say, to the idea. But then recently, the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe basically said he's open to this initiative, but he's still looking at the project by project foundation.
But we still have to admit there are territorial and historical issues between the three countries. But this time around, Shinzo Abe and Premier Li Keqiang agree on a mechanism to avoid maritime and territorial disputes. Will those kind of a technical arrangement ensure there won't be clashes in the future?
This is a very important step, I would say. If you look at China, Japan, or between South Korea and Japan, there are history issues, there are territorial disputes, but obviously the three countries, the leaders now is looking beyond those disputes. They say our relationship should not be impeded by those disputes. So they are playing down actually the disputes, and by mapping out this concrete, specific mechanism. This mechanism obviously is targeting at Diaoyu Islands between China and Japan. So there are military aircraft and also naval vessels near or above these Diaoyu Islands. Sometimes there's a potential of clashes between the two militaries. So we need a mechanism to manage if there's emergency situation, so it won't be running out of control, it won't be damaging the bilateral relationship. Let's focus on our cooperation, let's focus on the commonalities between the two countries. So this is a very positive development, I would say.